Okay, I'm back. So the reason that I had to break this up into 2 parts is because for whatever reason, when my videos go over 15 minutes, I can't upload to YouTube from my, what do you call this thing? It's an iPad. I can't upload from my iPad with videos that are more than 15 minutes. So anyway, that's why I'm doing part 2. So I just told you guys about the HIPAA cleanse. That's where I left off, so I need to go pick that up. Okay, so here's a good one. So I'm going to cover this top part here because it has the doctor's name on it. But these are all of the prescriptions that are going to be sent. Well, I think they already have been sent to my local Walgreens so that I can go pick them up. So I'll just kind of go over what they are giving me. So the Lovenox, the blood thinner injections, it's injection every single day, and you do it for 7 days after the surgery. Oxycodone is the narcotic medication, and I take 2 of those pills every 4 hours for the pain. And I'm not supposed to do it the same time as the muscle relaxers. So all of these medications have to be staggered. And so Craig's going to have to keep a little chart on when he gives me the medications. She said that I'll probably be pretty loopy, especially from the oxycodone. So she doesn't necessarily want me being in charge of taking the medication in a timely manner. So he's going to have to make sure that I think I'm just going to make him a chart. I'm a chart person, so hopefully that will help. Keflex is the antibiotic that I need to take, and I have to take that 4 times a day until all of my drains are removed. By the way, all of my drains are going to be removed within 2 weeks of the surgery. I believe at my very first appointment, which is the Tuesday after, so I'm having the surgery on a Wednesday. That next Tuesday is my first appointment back at the doctor. She'll see me the day after in the hospital. But when I go back there, she will take the drains for the breast reduction out and possibly 1 of the tummy tuck drains. I will have 2 on top, 2 on bottom. But she said in all likelihood, she will have to leave at least 1 of the tummy tuck drains in. That's pretty typical. And then a few days after that is when I will get that particular drain taken out. So basically, I have to take this antibiotic until all of the drains are taken out. I don't like taking antibiotics, but it's a part of it. I'm also getting something called Flexeril, which is a muscle relaxer. That's something that I have to take every 8 hours. And again, it specifically says, do not take with the narcotic. So the muscle relaxer is for when they sew your stomach muscles together, your muscles are going to spasm because they are not used to being in that position. And so that can result in something that's similar to, she said it would be somewhat similar to how it felt when I was in labor with Stella. I can tell you that didn't feel good. So I'm going to go ahead and take that muscle relaxer as much as I don't want to have to take that. I can tell you that I don't want to feel those muscle spasms if they feel anything like labor pains. She also prescribed Colace, which is a stool softener. So TMI, but all of these drugs make it very hard to go. And the last thing that you want to do is strain while you are going potty. So she said that realistically, if my surgery is on a Wednesday, the next time I would have a bowel movement would be Sunday or Monday. And I was like, really? And she was like, yeah, it slows everything in your system down so much. And so she was like, you need to drink all of the water that you can and take your Colace and anything else that makes it easy for you to go. So there you go. There's also an anti-nausea suppository called Phenergan. Again, to help with the nausea after surgery. She said the scopolamine will probably be sufficient. And she said I may not necessarily need this, but she wants me to have it just in case. And then the last thing is the scopolamine patch. So it's a lot of drugs, right? And then also I need to go and buy some Tylenol extra strength. I am almost out, and once I get off of the oxycodone, which I hope to do within a couple of days after surgery, I want to switch over to Tylenol. I am extremely allergic to aspirin and ibuprofen, and so I can't take like the Motrin or Advil or Aleve or anything like that, or aspirin. So my choice is Tylenol, which works fine for me in most cases. I use that for my migraines. So yeah, those are the drugs. Yeah, and I need to actually bring all of these drugs to the hospital with me the morning of my surgery when I check in. For me, with my particular doctor, because I am having both procedures done and it's a lengthy procedure, she requires that I stay in the hospital overnight. So I'm going to be in a recovery wing of the hospital. It's actually the same wing as the OB department. So, but I do get to have my own room, which is nice. And the nurses there will give me my drugs the first evening, and then Craig comes and picks me up the next day and takes me home. So, and before he takes me home, the doctor will come in and she will check all of my dressings and replace everything and make sure that I'm basically good to go at that point. So that's kind of nice. That saves me that trip back to the doctor that next day. So I'm not going to be in the car quite as much as I would have had to have been had I just come home immediately after the surgery, the day of the surgery. So that's nice. So yeah, here's my pills. So I need to get these. I don't even want to know how much they're going to cost. I'm going to try not to think about that. Speaking of cost, I had to pay for the surgery. So we had to pay the plastic surgeon yesterday. The hospital just called me today, so I need to call them and give them their payment, and then we're good. And if you're curious, this is costing me about $15,000. I have other videos in this series that talk about like that, you know, this is something that we have saved for. It's something that it's not putting us into debt. So I don't want anyone to think that like my child is going to go without because I'm opting to have this surgery. I work, my husband works, so we have enough money to be able to cover this. So anyway, there's that. Other things that she gave me. So she gave me this drainage record. So this is what I'm going to record, like, what comes out of my drains in terms of how many cc's of fluid, I guess. I don't know how exactly it works, but so Craig has to empty my drains whenever they need to be emptied. She showed Craig how to do that, and you know, how to like put them back together after he's emptied everything. It's actually fairly easy. But she said that it might be kind of hard for the first day or two for me to be able to do that, just because the drugs make you a little bit loopy. So I don't know how people do this that don't have support. I think if you are going to have this surgery, I would really recommend making sure that you can have somebody that is with you. You know, if you're not fortunate enough to have a partner, you know, if you have a mom or a dad or a sister or a cousin or a friend who's willing to stay with you a few days after, like, that's kind of what I gathered from this appointment, is that it would be really hard for me to do all of this on my own, and that would make me very nervous. So I would make sure, if you're thinking about having this surgery, making sure that your significant other can be home for the first few days with you. I'm lucky enough to where Craig and I, we're both self-employed, so it's very easy for us to make our own schedules. And then, you know, his mom's going to help out a little bit, and then my mom is also going to come down on the weekend to help out as well. But just make sure you have people there who can help you, because there's so much stuff like that you have to think about and that you have to do that. And when I'm on drugs, like, I'm pretty out of it. I had some Vicodin after I had Stella, and for whatever reason that made me loopy. Most people don't have that reaction to Vicodin, but yeah, it's just, I'm glad that I have somebody there. So I would definitely encourage you to have somebody there. They also, you know, told me which hospital I need to go to. There was several to choose from, and I'm glad that they're sending me to the one that I wanted to go to. We do have to be there at 6 a.m., which is really early, and Craig was like, ugh. Craig's not a morning person. I'm not really either, but he was like super depressed about having to get up at 5:30 to drive me there. But good news for him is he can just go and take a nap afterwards. The only request that I had of him was that he was there when I was waking up. Like, that's the only thing. I just want to be able to see him. And then I know that everything is okay. And then after they move me to the recovery wing, he can, you know, go home and take care of Stella again, but I just want him there when I wake up. So that was my only request. I don't smoke, but she said one of the main things is that please don't take up smoking in the next few weeks. So you need to quit before you do this surgery because it increases your complications afterwards. Also, I can't eat anything or drink anything starting at midnight before the surgery, which I think should be fine. It's going to be hard not to have coffee that morning. No lotions. Again, wash myself with the Hibiclens before we show up at the hospital. So I get my one last shower. By the way, showering. She said that, so my operation is on Wednesday. On Saturday, I should be able to take like a 5 or a 10-minute shower. So I'm really hoping I can do that. I can do it even with the drains in. I just need to figure out a contraption to like hook the drains onto something so they're not pulling. And then Craig probably actually has to be in the shower with me, or right outside of the shower so that if I pass out, he can catch me. So she said a lot of people get really weak when they first get into the shower, just like from the heat and stuff. So anyway, there's that. What else? Yeah, she just went over the procedure. Oh, she showed me my before pictures, which I hadn't seen. She took the before pictures at my consultation, and she opened up my file to like the pictures, and there were several like different like angles and views, and I was like, what is that? Like, it was awful. I'm basically mostly naked in the pictures, and I guess I just never have really looked at myself in the mirror naked, and I was like, oh my God, what happened to my body? It was really kind of depressing, and I was like, afterwards I was like, is that really what I look like? And he was like, well, yeah, but I mean, I still love you. You don't look that bad. You know, you're gonna look gorgeous afterwards. Like, you know, he was basically trying to make me feel better, but I was like, oh, yeah, that is not what I wanted to see. I mean, it was good for me to see it because, you know, once we left, I was a little bit overwhelmed. But every time I thought about those pictures, I was like, oh, thank goodness that I'm able to do something about this. I mean, my boobs just looked huge. And then, like, my stomach was just, like, when it's completely relaxed, like, it just sticks so far out because my stomach muscles aren't able to hold my organs and my intestines in. And I was like, oh, that's no good. So anyway, I got to see my before pictures, but it'll be good to have the before to compare the after pictures to. I'm sorry that I will never be able to share those with you guys, but, you know, let's just suffice it to say that the before is not all that appetizing. So anyway, if you have any questions, definitely leave me a comment down below. Again, I really appreciate all of the support that I've gotten from you guys about this surgery. I know it's not something that everybody really thinks that I should be doing, but you know, for the most part, everybody has been absolutely fantastic, and I will be sure to vlog after the surgery as well. That's my intention, just to, you know, for others out there, like, I'm doing this to like help other people because I've really enjoyed learning from some of my subscribers who've had the surgery, and then also other people that I've watched on YouTube. I think it's just good to get a variety of experiences about a procedure like this. So hopefully I can help somebody else by talking about my experiences with it. So let me know if you have questions, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video, hopefully looking a little bit more fabulous than this. I'll see you guys later.